Okay, now we will start with the derivative of sine and cosine and tan. Okay, so I need new slide. Now the derivative of sine and cosine the first rules for sine and cosine and tan. If f of x equal cosine, firstly sine lx. So the first derivative of f of x is equal cosine lx. If f of x equal cosine, the first derivative of cosine equal negative sine. So the derivative of sine, cosine. The derivative of cosine, negative sine. If we have tan lx, so the first derivative of the tan equal secant square lx. Secant means 1 over cosine, so the secant square equal cosine square of x. This is the derivative of the tan. Example about this rules. Find f prime of x if f of x equal x square multiplied by sine lx plus 5 cosine the x. Number 2, if f of x equal ln 2x minus cosine x. Number 3, f of x equal sine of x multiplied by cosine x. Number 4, if we have f of x equal e to the power 2x over tan lx. Also we can put the sine and cosine in the radical and denominators in the as exponent e to the power sine, like this. So we have many examples about the derivative of sine and cosine. The first derivative here, look at the x square multiply sine. X square multiply sine, this one, this is the product. Product x square multiply sine. So the product rules equal the derivative of the first 2x multiplied by the second plus the first x square multiplied by the derivative of the second derivative of sine cosine lx minus 5 sine lx. Negative, because we have cosine, the derivative of cosine, negative sine. So put the negative in the first of the terms. So we have negative 5 cosine. Okay. Okay, Bana. But we have 2x sine, x square, cosine. No, not cosine plus 5 minus sine x. This is not correct. Okay. 5, this is constant. The derivative of cosine, negative sine. So put it negative 5 multiply sine. Okay, Abana. The first derivative of the ln this is equal fraction. The fraction in denominators, this is inside the length. In denominators, this is equal inside the length. In numerators, equal the derivative inside the length. What's the derivative of 2x? 2. What's the derivative of cosine? Equal negative sign. Negative, negative, so we have a plus sign. Okay. Number 3. Also here we have the product. So apply the product rules. The first derivative of sine cosine x multiply cosine x plus sine x multiplied by the derivative of cosine negative sine x. So we have, if we need more simplify, cosine multiply cosine, this is cosine square negative, sine multiply sine, sine square also. If we have a fraction, so we have quotient rules. Quotient rules equal, in denominators this is tan square x. Okay, in numerators the derivative of numerators 2e 2x multiply denominators tan x minus numerators 2x multiplied by the derivative of the tan equal secant square of the x. Okay, any question? Any question? Okay, the second rules, if we have f of x equal sine and inside the sine g x function. So the first derivative equal g prime, so the derivative of the angles, okay, multiply by the derivative of sine equal cosine glx. So the derivative of sine cosine, put it the same angle. If the angle 5x, put it 5x. If the angle radical x, radical x, and multiply by the derivative of the angle. Okay, also if I have cosine glx, the derivative, first derivative equal g prime multiplied by the derivative of cosine equal negative sine. So put it negative here, negative sine, and the same angle. Also if we have the tan glx, this is equal f prime equal the derivative of the g multiplied by the derivative of tan secant square of the glx. Some example for this new laws. Example, find the f prime of the function f if we have f of x sine x square plus radical cosine ex. Number 2, f of x equal ln 3 cosine 2x to the power 3. Number 3, if we have f of x equal cosine inside the cosine sine, and if we have cosine تربيع also cosine square for 5x like this. The first one, the derivative of f of x equal, what's the derivative of the angle? This is 2x multiply by, what's the derivative of sine? Cosine, and put it the same angle. Okay, this is angle x square. Firstly, derivative of the angle x square equal to x, the derivative of x square, the derivative of sine cosine, and put it the same angle. Okay, plus what's the derivative of the radical? In general, radical equal in denominator 2 multiply the same roots, in numerator the derivative of the inside the roots. What's the derivative of cosine ex? Ex, the derivative of ex, the derivative of cosine negative sine, and put it the same angle. Okay, like this. The derivative of the second equal len equal fraction. In denominator the same inside the len, 2x to the power 3. In numerators, this is the derivative inside the len, equal, we have 3 multiply by the derivative of the angle equal 6x square multiply by the derivative of cosine negative, put it the negative in the first term, sine, and put it the same angle. So we can remove 3 with 3, so we have negative 6x square multiply by sine 2x to the power 3 over cosine 2x to the power 3. 6x square قريب. Okay, 6x square, because we have x to the power 3. The first derivative here in the third example, this is the angle cosine, and inside the cosine sine, so the angle of cosine sine, the derivative of sine cosine x, and we have the derivative of cosine negative sine, and put it the same angle like this, minus this is square, this mean cosine 5x all square like this. Okay, this mean cosine 5x all to the power 2. So we have 2 multiplied by cosine 5x, and now the derivative of cosine 5x equal 5 negative sine 5x. So we can simplify this one, minus cosine at x sine of the sine at x, negative plus, we have 2 and 5 10, and we have cosine 5x multiplied by sine 5x also. Any question? Any question? Also, we have the integral of the sine and cosine. The integral of sine and cosine number 1, integral of sine x dx. This equal what? This equal minus cosine x plus c. This is the integral of the sine. And integral of the cosine, this equal sine plus c, because the derivative of the sine equal cosine. The derivative of the cosine negative sine with negative, so positive sine. Okay. Number 2, if we have in the angle AX, not X, for example, sine AX, sine 2x, sine 3x, like this. So the derivative equal minus, the integration equal minus cosine with the same angle over the coefficient of the x, a plus c. The integral of cosine ax dx equal the integration of the cosine ax sine ax over a plus what? Plus c. Example, in the integration, find number 1, integral of 3 sine of x plus e to the power 2x dx. Number 2, integral of 6 cosine 2x minus 15 over x to the power 3 dx. The solution equal 3, put it 3, integral of the sine negative cosine plus the derivative integration of e to the power 2x equal e to the power 2x over the coefficient of the x 2 plus what? Plus c. The second, we have 6, the integral of cosine sine 2x over 2, the coefficient of x. Okay, this is integral of 6 cosine 2x minus 15x to the power negative 3. Okay, what is the x in the numerators? So convert the exponent from positive to negative. Minus 15 x to the power minus 2 over negative 2 plus what? Plus c. If we need doing more simplify, 6 over 2, we can simplify, put it 3 sine 2x negative positive 15 over 2, put it 15 over 2, or we can put it 7.5 like this, no problem. 15 over 2, and we can put it the x in denominators, so we need to convert negative exponent to positive, plus what? Plus c. Any question? القانون يا دعاء، قانون لحظة الانتجرال للكوساين بوزيتيف ساين، لأنه لو اشتقينا الساين بعطينا كوساين. أوكي يا دعاء. طيب قريب دكتور ما فهمت السؤال الثاني. السؤال الثاني نفسه، يعني هو من عندي 6 في كوساين 2x، فمنا نكمل كوساين. شو ممكن تكامل الكوساين؟ ساين. فكملنا الكوساين ساين، حطينا نفس الزاوية قسمنا على 2، لأنه في عندي هنا الزاوية 2x صح؟ زي ax قلنا divide by the coefficient of x، فقسمنا على 2. أما هذا الإكس هذا يعني خلصناه، يعني في chapter integration بنرفعه للبسط عشان يتحول الأس سالب، أصبح بهذا الشكل. فلما نيجي نكامله بنزيد الأس بمقدار 1 فأصبح -2، ونقسم على الأس اللي هو -2 يعني. طيب نعم بيعتمد على القوانين أكيد سارة، يعني أكيد حل كل هذه الأمور بيعتمد على القوانين. اللي عارف القوانين فاهمها بحل أي شيء ما عنده مشكلة. طيب now also we can solve the definite integral. Definite integral, wait, number 3, we need to find the integration from 0 to pi over 2 for what? For the 4x minus sine 2x dx. The solution, just note for the angle we have 0, pi over 2 or 90 degree, we have 30 degree, we have 45, 60, 90, 180, 270, 360. This is 2 pi, this is 3 pi over 2, this is pi over 2, pi over 3, pi over 4, pi over 6 and 0. Okay, the sine of x, this is the x, or cosine of x. Sine is 0, 0, cosine is 0, 1. Okay, this is the main angle. Also you can using the calculator to compute this angle, sine and cosine. In 30, this is half, this is 1 over radical 2 or radical 2 over 2, this is radical 3 over 2, This is 1 0 minus 1 0. In cosine, this is equal radical 3 over 2 1 over radical 2 1 over 2 0 negative 1 0 1. This is the main angle and the value of sine and cosine. Now the integral of 4x, this is equal 4x squared over 2 because we have x to the power 1. After integration, x to the power 2 over 2 minus the integral of sine, this is equal negative cosine 2x over 2 negative cosine 2x over 2, and we need to substitute the pi over 2 and 0. Now before substitute the pi over 2 and 0, we need doing more simplify. So we have the 4 over 2, we have 2x squared plus, because we have negative cosine 2x over 2 and substitute 0 and pi over 2. Substitute pi over 2, we have 2 multiply by pi over 2 square plus cosine 2 multiply by over 2 over 2. Okay, substitute 0, we have 0 plus cosine 0 over 2. Now this is equal pi over 2 square, pi square over 4 multiply by 2, so we have pi square over 2 plus cosine pi, because remove 2 with 2, so we have cosine pi. What's the value of cosine pi? Negative 1, and we have 2. Okay, minus cosine is 0 1, so we have 1 over 2. This equal pi square over 2 minus 1 over 2. This is equal minus 1 over 2. So we have pi square minus 2, like this. Okay. Any question? Any question? Last example, also application on the integration to find the, for example, average, and we have the function, trigonometric function, have the sine or cosine. So like this example, find the average value of f of x on interval from 1 to 4, and the f of x equal cosine pi x over 2. The solution. What's the law of the average value? You must remember the average value, f average equal 1 over b minus a, this is a and this is b, multiplied by integral from a to b of what? Of f of x. This is the average value. So we have 1 over 4 minus 1 from 1 to 4 cosine by x over 2 dx. This equal 1 over 3 from 1 to 4. What's the integral of cosine? This equal sine by x over 2, over 2, over what's the coefficient of x by over 2? Remove this one. This one we need to substitute 4 and 1. Okay, after find the integral, you must remove the sign of integration. Okay, now this equal what? 2 over this one multiplied by 1 over 3. We can put it 1 multiply this one, 2 denominator of denominator numerators, so we have 2 over 3 pi. This is the outside. Now we need to substitute sine by x over 2 from 1 to 4. This equal 2 over 3 pi. Substitute the 4, so we have sine 4 pi over 2 minus substitute 1 sine pi over 2. This equal 2 over 3 pi sine 4 pi over 2, this is 2 pi, sine 2 pi 0 minus sine pi over 2 1, so we have negative 1 multiply 2 over 3 pi, we have minus 2 over 3 pi. Any question? Any question? So this is the main subject in the tutorial number 7, trigonometric function. Now we go to the last chapter, the probability. هنا ما راح مقام الساين يا تركي، ما راح مقام الساين. لو تلاحظ مقام الساين اللي هو باي اوفر 2 ضربناه مع 1 اوفر 3، مقام المقام اللي هي 2 اصبحت في البسط 2، وفي المقام اصبحت 3 باي، فحطيناها هنا فاصبح بهذا الشكل. هاي تمام يا تركي. هذه لكن مقام المقام ضربناه في البسط اللي هو 1. طيب جالس افتح الشابتر الاخير. طبعا بالنسبة لدرجاتكم في TMA بس نخلص راح نبلغكم فيها. اليوم إن شاء الله آخر محاضرة. المحاضرة القادمة بتكون يعني راح أفتحها في نفس الموعد، أو ما بعرف توقيت الجديدة في رمضان، راح يكون ممكن أول يوم رمضان، فقط إذا حدا عنده أي سؤال، يعني مش ضروري الحضور، إذا عنده أي سؤال فقط يسألني. ممكن يكون نازل الTMA إذا في أي استفسار. للأسف في نسبة تشابه، يعني ثلث الطلاب في عليهم خصم للأسف، يعني ما التزموا بالتعليمات، بينما الثلثين وهم اللي يعني خلينا نحكي أكثر اجتهاد ما كان عليهم نسبة تشابه عالية، فيعني حافظوا على درجتهم. لكن للأسف في طلاب يعني في الشعب عندي ما في أحد يعني راح يحصل على زيرو، أما بالشعب الثاني للأسف يعني راح يكون زيرو، نسبة التشابه عالية. عدم الالتزام هذه مشكلة للطلاب. طبعا إذا أحد حل وقال لي إنه هذا حلي وكيف تخصم لي حلك، أوكي، بس إنه لما أفتح ملف آخر ألاقي نفس خطوات حلك ونفس الفواصل ونفس التعليق ونفس الخطأ، فهذا مش حلك. هذا يعني بيكون فعلا حلك، لكن أنت برضو كونك غششت واحد راح يخصم يعني. لا، شو أنا أصلح لكل الشعب؟ أنا لشعبتي، لكن التقارير التشابه أنا طلعتها، تقارير التشابه اللي عنده تشابه عالي حددتهم، اللي عندهم تشابه نسب، يعني ممكن ينخصم درجتين أو 4 درجات أو 6 درجات أو 8 درجات أو 10. هذا بالنسبة للتشابه. اللي عنده درجة تشابه عالية جدا يعني أتوقع هم من كل الشعب، يعني ممكن يكونوا 8-9 طلاب، هذول حصلوا على زيرو. سارة سؤالها جيد. كيف أنا فقط يعني راح أناقشكم دقيقتين لأن خلص فتحت الملف وحاب، لكن كوني لسه ما بدأنا ففقط دقيقتين. سارة بتسأل إنه كيف نتأكد إنه الحل صحيح لو نقصنا. أنا راح أعطيك الحل وتوزيع الدرجات يا سارة، يعني بملف الفيدباك موجود. أنا عامل إكسل، الدكتور بحط الدرجة، أنا بحكي بشكل عام لكن أنا اللي بصلح لشعبتي. بنحط الحل وتوزيع درجاته على السؤال وأنت كم حصلتي بناء على ملفك الوورد. أوكي، فكل شيء واضح راح يكون. أي درجة تنقص سواء عندي ولا عند غيري، يعني الحل موجود وعارف وين نقصت. لا سمح الله كان في خلل، يعني نقصتكم بالخطأ، وإن شاء الله ما أكون أخطأ، لكن نحن بني آدمين ممكن تشوف الحل. إذا فعلا أنت حلك مطابق للكي أنسر ممكن تراجعين. سؤال بحكي بشكل عام لجميع الطلاب، يراجع دكتوره يعني. الدرجات لسه يعني في صدد إنه ممكن التصحيح ينتهي بكرة، بعدها أراجع الدرجات بشكل عام، فممكن يعني على الخميس على بداية الأسبوع القادم إن شاء الله تكون الدرجات موجودة. ولا تنسوا إنه بكرة عندكم الاختبار السادس، الكويز السادس. كويس تذكرت، الكويز السادس بكرة، هذا ضروري عشان أي شيء فيه نقص من الفايف كويزز الماضيات تعوضوه. طيب دكتور عادي تفتح المايك، أنا مقفله. لو الجباتر هذا نفس اللي قبله عشان الأسئلة أسأل ما راح توصل لك. طيب معك أوكي يا دعاء على السريع لأنه عشان أبدأ. ما راح توصل المعلومة بالشات، ممكن اوكي اوكي فهمت عليك. طيب لكنه قدر الامكان بالشات. اذا في سؤال انتم يعني احد شاف انه ما يقدر يسأل ممكن نفتح الشات، لكن عشان نختم هذا الشابتر عشان ما يكون الاسبوع القادم فري حضوركم يا لا حسب وضعك. طيب نيجي لل probability and calculus tutorial number 8. This is the last chapter. خليني بس اشغل التسجيل. Okay, now the tutorial number 8, probability and calculus. This is the last chapter in our courses. Okay, the first subject, the random variable. Random variable, this is the function between the domain, this is the sample space, okay, sample space set, and the codomain or the range equal real number. Okay, for example, if we have example about the flipped the coin 3 times. This is the flipped coin 3 times. In the coin we have 2 faces, one edge and another one tail. Okay, head and tail. So let the x the random variable that equal the number of the head. So we flip the coin 3 times and count the number of head. So we have, for example, if we flip the coin 3 times, we have 8 outcomes. The number 1 H, number 2 H T, number 3 H T H, or H T T. This is the for T H H T H T. Also we have T T T. Also we have the TTH. Okay, this is the 8 outcome. Now the number of H, each experiment we have number of H. Maybe have 0 H, maybe have 1 H, maybe have 2 H or 3 H, not more than 3 H. Okay, I cannot, it's unbelievable to obtain the 4H because we have 3 coins. So maybe 0 or 1 or 2 or 3H. So if we have H, so this is equal 3, the number of H. Also we can have 0 because some experiment have TTT, for example. Or we can obtain 2H if we have HHT, HTH or THH. Also we can obtain the 1H if we have TTH, THT, HTT, for example. Okay, so this is the random variable. Some random variable also the continuous. This is depend on the not number of, for example, number of student, number of age, number of animal. Sometimes we have time, the outcome time or temperature. This is continuous. We cannot put it the specific number. So we have interval. Okay. So this is continuous. So we have discrete and continuous sample space. Okay, discrete means, for example, we have the number of student attendance in the class. So we have for example 0 student, 1 student, 2 student, 3 student. Okay, this is the discrete. But if we have, for example, what's the temperature in the morning? In the morning, the temperature, for example, between 35 and 38. Okay, so this is interval. So we have continuous, we have interval. Okay, so sometimes we have discrete or continuous. If we have discrete, the probability function, this is the f of x probability function or probability mass function or probability distribution. We have many names for the probability function denoted by f of x. So must be the f of x positive, because this is probability. The probability must be 0, between 0 and 1. Between 0 and 1. So f of x between 0, greater than 0, and less than 1. The summation of the all experiment probability of experiment, this is must be equal 1. Okay. Oh, and the probability of any specific value x equal x small, this is f of x. Look at this example. If we have flipped the coin two times, so we have the number of heads 0 or 1 or 2. Okay, and f of x equal what? The 0, we have 0. For example, 2 1/4. This is head t. So we have 0 head. This is one experiment or one outcome. And how many of the head? How many experiment if the head equal 1? We have TH or HT. So we have 2 experiment over 4. Also, if we have 2H, this is 1 experiment, so 1/4. Look at this. The summation of f of x equal what? Must be equal 1. Because the first experiment 1/4, the second 2/4, the third 1/4. If summation all probability, so we have the 1. Okay. If we have some experiment in x and f of x, like for example 0, 1, 2, and 3. This is 1/5. This is 2/5. This is 1/5. This is equal 2/5. All f of x greater than 0, less than 1. Okay, but the summation of f of x equal what? Equal 6/5. This is not equal 1. So this is probability function or probability mass function? No. Okay, no. Why? Because the summation of all probability experiment not equal 1. اوكي، يعني احتمال ظهور احد الوجهين ولا لا؟ لا، احتمال ظهور الاتش. شو احتمال ظهور الاتش؟ 0 تايم 1/4. ليه؟ لانه flipped the coin 2 time we have h or we have h and t, we have t and h, and we have t and t. Okay, so if we have 0h, we have only one from all the experiment or all the events 1/4. فاحتمال ظهور التي تي او احتمال عدم ظهور الاتش 1/4. اوكي. شو احتمال ظهور الاتش مرة واحدة؟ احتمال ظهور الاتش مرة واحدة يا هذا يا هذا. فكم عندنا إمكانية؟ مرتين. احتمال ظهورها مرة واحدة مرتين من أصل كم؟ من أصل 4. أوكي. شو احتمال ظهور الاتش شو احتمال ظهور الاتش يعني عدد الاتش مرتين، إنه اتش يجي بالتو كوين؟ هو مرة من أصل 4. أوكي. وهكذا. لاحظوا على التجربة اللي تحت. هل التجربة اللي تحت the second experiment، التجربة اللي تحت this is probability function? no. why probability not probability function؟ لا، اللي تحت مثال آخر. هذا مثال آخر، مثال آخر. انسوا، اعزل مثال. أنا يعني حاط هذا الجدول. هذا الجدول ممكن أسألك هل هو probability function أو لا؟ This is probability function? No. Why? Because the summation of f of x not equal 1. بكل بساطة. إذا شو لازم يكون مجموعه؟ مجموعهم 1. شو لازم كل واحد يكون موجب؟ لأنه من المفروض 4. انسي الأربعة يا دعاء، انسي الأربعة. بغض النظر هاي ما بتدري أنت شو التجربة. ما بغض النظر شو التجربة ما ندري عنها. هل هي probability function؟ هل هي دالة احتمال؟ لا. ليه؟ لأنه لازم مجموعهم يساوي 1. لازم مجموعهم، لازم أحقق الشروط هاي يا طلاب. لازم أحقق الشروط هاي. إذا تحققت هذه الشروط بنسميه probability function. أول شرطين، أهم شيء أول شرطين هذولا لازم يتحقق الشروط. لازم موجب، ولازم يكون من واحد منهم خلل. يعني الفوق متحقق لكن التحت مش متحقق لأنه مجموعهم لا يساوي 0. أوكي. الأخير اللي هو قيمة الأف هي قيمة الاحتمال بس. هذا مش شرط، هذا يعني زي معلومة إنه احتمال إكس يساوي إكس هي قيمة نفس أف الإكس، هي احتمال. أوكي. يعني مثلا لو حطينا على سبيل المثال هذا إكس وهذه أف أوف إكس، هذه مثلا 0 1 2 and 3 مثلا، وحطينا لكم هنا 2 over 6 2 over 6 و 4 over 6 و minus 2 over 6. لاحظوا مجموعهم 1. لكن هل هذا probability mass function؟ This is the probability mass function number 3. This is probability mass function. Yes or no؟ لا، لأنه في سالب. ممتاز يا شيماء، ممتاز يا سارة. لأنه في خلل بإحدى الشروط. ممتاز. حتى لو مجموعهم 1، لو نجمعهم 1 لكن في خلل، في سالب. أوكي. فلازم يكونوا موجبات، مجموعهم 1 بنسميه probability mass function. This is called probability mass function if the 3 conditions are satisfied. Okay. So this is not mass function, this is mass function. Okay. If we have continuous, this is called probability density function. Mass function if discrete, density function if the random variable continuous. Okay. So we have the main two condition also. F of x must be greater than or equal 0. Okay. And the integral from minus infinity to infinity of what? Of f of x must be equal 1. If the two conditions are satisfied, so this is probability density function. دعاء العلامة اللي جنب ال f of x اسمها الاحتمال. نعم probability. ده قصدك هذه. نعم هذه probability احتمال. And if we need to find the probability from A to B, because this is continuous, we have interval x. يعني مثلا لما نقول continuous خليني يعني عشان نميز شو احتمال انه تكون على سبيل المثال خلينا نحكي بين الدرجتين بين حرارتين، يعني مثلا فترة الصباح شو احتمال تكون درجة الحرارة ما بين 35 و 36. اوكي بهذا الشكل، فبنوجد الاحتمال بهذا الشكل لانه عندي continuous راح تكون. او ممكن نسأل عن الوقت، نسأل عن الوقت شو احتمال عدد مثلا السيارات في الشارع او لا سمح الله الحوادث في الشارع بين الساعة 4 والساعة 5 وهكذا، اللي هي فترة الازدحامات مثلا لا سمح الله وهكذا. فبنسأل عن هنا، لكن في عندنا continuous، في عندنا مبدأ continuous. اوكي فالراندوم فاريبل بيكون continuous. هنا for example لو ناخذ مثلا انه عندي f of x equal x over 2، والاكس هذا الفانكشن هو ما بين الزيرو وال1 مثلا. from 0 to 1 for any x this is greater than 0. this is okay. إذن الشرط الأول متحقق. okay because x over 2 positive if x between 0 and 1, so x over 2 positive, so f of x always greater than or equal 0. The second condition from minus infinity to infinity of f of x dx, we have interval, only this interval, so this is equal what? From 0 to 1, because from minus infinity to 0, from minus infinity to 0 I don't have the function, so this is 0. From 1 to infinity I don't have the function, so this is 0. But from 0 to 1 we have the function x over 2. okay, so the integral from minus infinity to infinity, this is integral from 0 to 1 only. From 0 to 1 x over 2 dx, this is equal what? This is equal x squared over 4. Put it 1 and 0, so we have 1 over 4 minus 0, so this is equal 1 over 4. This is mass density function. No, this is not equal 1, so not density function, not density function. يعني الشيء ما بتقول الزيرو والوان، لا حتى الفانكشن بيختلف. ممكن احط x سكوير اوفر 2، شو المشكلة يعني؟ الفانكشن والفترة بيختلفوا اكيد. اوكي يا شيماء تمام. فهل هذا density function؟ لا. ليه؟ لانه شو طلع عندي الانتجريشن from minus infinity to infinity طلع عندي ربع، ما طلع عندي واحد. اذا هذا not density function. why? because the integration not equal 1. مثال يعني للتوضيح على الدنسيتي، على الديسكريت، هذا الديسكريت وهذا continuous. شوف على الديسكريت، look at this example in the discrete random variable. This is mass function, probability mass function, yes or no? The first table, this one, number 1, this is number 2. Number 1, mass function, yes. Why? Because this is positive, 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 so f of x greater than or equal 0. هذا الشرط الأول. The summation of f of x لو جينا جمعناهم شو بطلع عندي؟ 1 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1. So we have 8 over 8. This is equal 1. So هذا شو بنسميه؟ probability mass function. ممتاز. يعني عليكم. نيجي لتحت. If we have continuous, look at the x, we have interval, not have the table x equals 0, 1, 2, 3. No, this is x from the value to another value. So we have continuous. f of x, this f of x, x square over 3 always positive. هذا دائما موجب لأنه x square over 3. x square positive, 3 positive. Positive over positive, positive. Okay? Now, the integration. Integral from minus infinity to infinity of f of x dx. This is equal what? What's the bounded of integration? Okay, we have from minus infinity to infinity, but from minus infinity to infinity, I don't have the function. I have the function from minus 1 to 2. So this is remove. So we have from minus 1 to 2. So from minus 1 to 2 for f of x اللي هو x square over 3. Now x to the power 3 over 3 over 3, 9. And substitute 2 and negative 1. Substitute 2, this is equal what? 8 over 9 minus substitute 1 minus 1, so substitute negative 1 over 9. So this is 1 or not 1? This is 1, 9 over 9. So this is probability density function BDF. اوكي، العدد الاصغر بنحطه تحت والاكبر فوق. اذا انترفال اكيد، اذا انترفال من الى، نعم اكيد من الى. واحد يا حنان، ممتاز تمام. any question about this? Any question? طيب I need to ask you about, for example, what's the probability in the first example? What's the probability x equal to? What's the probability x equal to? In the first example here, what's the probability of x equal to? Three over 8. ممتاز. 3 over 8. طيب هنا what's the probability x between 0 and 1? Probability between 0 and 1, this means the integral from 0 to 1 for x square over 3. Okay. And this is equal x to the power 3 over 9, substitute 1 and 0, so we have 1 over 9. So the probability x between 0 and 1 equal 1 over 9. Okay. Now If we have cumulative, this is F capital. In the discrete, cumulative equal what? Equal cumulative. This means x less than or equal x. Less than or equal x. So we need to summation from x and less than x. For example, if we have the density, mass function x and f of x like this: 0, 1, 2, and 3, and this is 1 over 5, 1 over 5, 2 over 5, 1 over 5. Okay, so this is mass function. Now the F capital means, for example, if we need to find the F2 equal what? 2 over 5. But F capital, let 2, this equal what? Probability x less than or equal to. So this is equal what? This is the difference between F small, this is F small. F small, let 2, this is equal to over 5. But F capital, let 2, this equal what? This equal F0 plus F1 plus F2. So this is equal what? 4 over 5. So if we need F capital 2, F capital 2 means from 2 and less than 2. Find the probability from 2 and less than 2. Okay, but F small for 2, this is the probability at 2 only. Okay, so if we need to find the table of F capital, this is the table of F capital. At 0 equal 1 over 5, but at 1 this is equal 1 and 0, so we have 2 over 5. The 2 at 2 equal 4 over 5. At 3 equal 5 over 5. Must be last one equal 1. Must be last one in F capital. Okay, this is called cumulative, not probability mass function. Probability mass function must be f of x equal all the summation of f of x equal 1. But in F capital, this is cumulative. Okay, so F is 0, just and 0. F is 1, this is probability 0 and 1. And at 2, 0 and 1 and 2. At 3, 0 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay. Now, if we have cumulative for continuous, cumulative distribution function in continuous, this means if we have f of x, this means from minus infinity to x, from minus infinity to x. This is the cumulative distribution function in continuous. Look at this probability. If we need probability from a to b, this means the integral from a to b, or f capital B minus f capital A. If we need to find the probability x less than b, this means less than b from minus infinity to b. Greater than b, this is from b to infinity. From b to infinity. This called also, this is integral from b to infinity of what? Of f of x. Or 1 minus and swap or replace greater than to less than. Look at this. This is greater than. If we need to find the probability x greater than b, you can convert it to less than b, but put it 1 minus probability and put it less than b. Okay. Now some example about this. I need new slide. Wait. Example. Let this is the table probability mass function 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. At 1, 1 over 10. At 2, 3 over 10. 3, 1 over 10. 2 over 10. 2 over 10. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 over 10. Okay. Number 1. Verify that. What's the meaning verify? Is probability mass function. So we need to check this is mass function or not. Yes. Number 2, find probability x less than 3. Probability x greater than or equal 4. Probability x less than greater than or equal 3, less than 5. Okay, now if we need to verify if this is function, mass function or not, firstly f of x must be greater than or equal 0. Okay, this is correct. The summation of f of x, this equal what? This equal 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 all over 10. So this is equal what? 10 over 10, 1. So f of x probability mass function. Okay. Now, how can find x less than 3? X less than 3, this is the 3. Less than 3, so this is means f1 plus f2. Why not put it f3? Because x less than 3, not less than or equal. Okay, this is less than 3. So this is equal 1 over 10 plus 3 over 10. So we have 4 over 10. Now, x greater than or equal 4. So this is probability f4 plus f5 plus f6. So we have 2 over 10 plus 2 over 10 plus 1 over 10. So we have 5 over 10 or 1 over 3. Okay. Now why 7 over? كثير كتبوا 7. لا انتوا جمعتوا 1 و 2 و 3. هو x greater than 4. ايوه مش less than or equal. لا ما هو لازم ننتبه لإشارة الأكبر والأصغر. greater than or less than. اوكي مين اللي قالت we count 8 from 1. لا, from 4 and above because x greater than 4. 4, 5 and 6. Okay. Last one, we have between x between 3 and less than 5. So we have f3 plus f4 only, 5 not included. So we have 1 over 10 plus 2 over 10. So we have 3 over 10. Okay. Any question? Any question? Okay. If we need to find f cumulative, f capital, number 3, for example, in the same example, find f capital of x. The solution, look at the f of x, x and f of x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. This equal 1 over 10, 1 over 10, sorry, 3, 1 over 10, 2 over 10, 2 over 10, 1 over 10. Okay, this is for the mass function. Now we need to find the cumulative. Cumulative of x and f capital. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Number 1, 1 over 10, because f capital 1 equal f1, but f capital of 2 equal f1 plus f2. Okay, cumulative ل3 equal f1 plus 2 plus 3 and so on to finish. So f2 equal what? 4 over 10. Good يا بانا. f capital ل3 equal 4 over 3 plus 1 over 10, 5 over 10. At 4, 5 over 10 plus 2 over 10, 7 over 10. Plus 2, 9 over 10. At 6 equal must be equal 1. Last one must be equal 1. 10 over 10. Okay, any question? Any question? Now, another example about the continuous. If we have f of x equal x to the power 3 over 64, if the x between 0 and 4 and 0 otherwise means other than this interval the function 0 and the integration of 0 0 also. Now the first we need to verify that f of x is probability density function. Okay, after that what is to find the probability. Now the solution, f of x equal what? X to the power 3 over 64 and the interval x between 0 and 4. So in the numerator is positive, so this is always greater than or equal 0. Okay, positive over positive or otherwise غير ذلك الفانكشن زيرو. يعني الفانكشن من 0 ل 4 هذا الفانكشن، غير هذا الفانكشن زيرو. يعني من سالب ما لا نهاية ل 0 4 لما لا نهاية. هنا ما في فانكشن، هنا زيرو، وهنا ما في فانكشن، هنا زيرو. لكن بين الزيرو والفور الفانكشن x to the power 3 over 64. واضح يا سارة؟ ال OW otherwise. طيب now so the first condition it's okay, f of x greater than or equal 0. The second, now the integral from minus infinity to infinity of f of x dx, this equal what? This equal from 0 to 4. Why? Because less than 0 the integration 0, greater than 4 the integration also 0. Okay, dx. So this is equal what? X to the power 4 over 4 multiply 64 256. And now we substitute 4 and 0. Substitute 4 to the power 4 256 over 256 minus substitute 0 0 over 256 0. So this is equal what? Equal 1. So we can conclude f of x is probability density function. اوكي، من وين جبت الزيرو والفور يا سارة؟ اطلع على السؤال. الفترة انا عندي للفانكشن من وين لوين يا سارة؟ سارة عمر. ايش معناها بدل على ايش density؟ هذا اسمه probability density function لانه حقق الشرطين، انه من سالب ما لا نهاية لما لا نهاية كان التكامل واحد زي المجموعة. بالكونتينيوس لازم التكامل واحد، بالديسكريت لازم المجموع واحد. اوكي، فنسميها probability density function. هذا بالكونتينيوس. بالديسكريت بنسميها probability mass function. لا، من وين تجيب هذا؟ ما بجيب شيء يعني. عادة يعني نقرأ السؤال من نحدد القيم كليات المعطيات. طيب any question؟ طيب نبدأ بأسئلة الكتاب. نشوف أسئلة. في بعض الأسئلة خلينا نحكي مهمة. طيب مثلا زي هذا يقول لي verify f of x is density function. Verify. Firstly, f of x greater than 0. This is the first condition. The second condition, look at this integration, must be equal what? 1. So this is equal 1. If we need to find a capital, the cumulative, just before minus 1, x minus 1 less than minus 1 must be 0. Greater than 2 must be 1 in the f capital. This is cumulative. If we need to find from minus 1 to 2, So integral from -1 to x, from -1 to x. This is equal, substitute x and substitute 1. So we have x to the power 3 over 9 minus negative equal positive. So this is the value of f capital between -1 and 2. So if we have interval, find the integral from -1 to x or from a to x. Okay, if we have interval from a to b. هي إذا بدنا نوجد اف كابيتال ما عندنا مشكلة، بنقدر نوجدها. يعني في المثال الماضي هنا بإمكاننا نوجد اف كابيتال. اف كابيتال بكل سهولة في المثال الماضي. لو نيجي نحط نوجدها، نحط new slide. We need to find, look at this, f small. f small equal x to the power 3 over 64. This is, if we need to find here, find f capital of x. Okay, number 2 for example. This is between 0 and 4, otherwise equal 0. F capital like this equal less than x less than 0, x between 0 and 4, and x greater than 4. Less than 0 equals 0 directly, because the function already of small 0. Greater than 4 must be equal 1 always, because greater than 4. Okay, so we have from -infinity and above 4 for f capital, so surely equal 1. Now between 0 and 4, just f x between 0 and 4 equal the integral, sorry, x between 0 and 4. Just find the integration from 0 to x for the same function to the power 3, sorry, 64 dx. This is equal what? The same integral, x to the power 4 over 256. Now substitute x and 0. Substitute x, we have x to the power 4 over 256 minus substitute 0, 0. So we have x to the power 4 and 256. This is the value of f capital between 0 and 4. Okay. هنا بنوجد اف كابيتال يا سارة. هنا بنوجد اف كابيتال. اف كابيتال بينقسم، يعني اف سمول احنا بنعرف انه من 0 ل 4 هنا 0 هنا 0 وهنا x to the power 4 over 64 صح؟ هذا اف سمول. لكن اف كابيتال ل x، يعني اذا كانت الاكس اقل 0، اذا كانت هنا بالتكامل طلع x to the power 4 over 256. لكن إذا كانت هون الإكس، إذا كانت هون الإكس يعني بدنا نكمل من minus infinity لهذه القيمة. In what? In f capital. So already from 0 to 4 1. هذه القيمة كلياتها، يعني هذه 0 من هنا لهنا 1، ومن 4 ل مثلا 5 0، فمجموعهم كم؟ 1. فدايما القيمة هذه هنا 1. هذا في اف كابيتال. واضح يا سارة؟ ليه اخذت بدل الفترة 1 لاكس؟ عشان احنا بنوجد فانكشن هنا. ما قال لي اوجد احتمال، ما بين مثلا 1 ل 3 عشان أحط تكامل من 1 ل 3. الآن راح أسأل عن احتمالات، راح بين قيمتين بنحط تكامل من 1 ل 3. لكن هنا احنا بنوجد فانكشن، نوجد اكس هي ممكن تكون بين الصفر والأربعة، احنا ما بنعرف قيمتها. اوكي، احنا ما بنعرف، عشان هيك حطينا اكس، بحيث اكس تكون اي قيمة ما بين الزيرو والأربعة. ما بنعرف قيمة اكس، ممكن تكون نص وربع، 1 2 3 3 ونص 2 ونص، ما بنعرف قيمتها. بشكل عام احنا قاعدين نوجد بشكل عام شو ما كانت قيمة اكس، يعني من صفر لأي اكس، من صفر لأي اكس سواء كانت اكس 1 ولا 2 ولا 3، احنا اوجدنا هذه القيمة. اوكي، ممكن اسأل سؤال اخر، انه find the area, find the probability. يعني number 3 find for example bx less than or equal to, or find the b from 1 to 3. Find the b, for example x greater than or equal to, or 4, or greater than 3, like this. Now the integral here, this is b less than 2, because f of x, look at f of x, x to the power 3 over 64 if x between 0 and 4, otherwise 0. Okay, so less than 2, so the integration from 0 to 2, because less than value of x 0, greater value of x 4, between 0 and 4, this is the function. Now from 0 to 2, x to the power 3 over 64. The same integration, x to the power 4 over 256, but the substitution is different. Substitute 2, we have 16 over 256 minus substitute 0 0, so we have 16 over 256. Okay, between 1 and 3, x to the power 3 over 64, so we have x to the power 4 over 256. Substitute 1 and 3. This equal what? This equal, substitute 3, we have 81 over 256 minus substitute 1 over 256. So we have 80 over 256. Now, greater than 3, the integral from what to what? Which is the value if we have greater than 3? راح ارجع لك يا تركي. If x greater than or equal 3, the value of x from what to what? The integral, the bounding من صفر لمن، ما هو greater than 3. ليش الصفر؟ from 3 to 4. ممتاز يا قريب. from 3 to 4 يعني أنا الإكس عندي صفر و4. إذا كان أكبر من 3 وأكبر، يعني من 3 لغاية آخر شيء إيش راح يكون؟ عندي 4. أوكي يا سارة؟ So this is equal x to the power 4 over 256, and substitute 4. This is equal 256 over 256 minus substitute 381 over 256, and this is equal what? This is equal 256 minus 81, 175 over 256. اوكي. نرجع لتركي. تركي بيقول لي ليش واحد هذه واحد، لانه شو معنى اف الاكس؟ شو معنى مثلا اف اي اكس اكبر من 4؟ يعني مثلا اف الخمسة شو معناها؟ هذه معناها انه بدنا نكمل من 0 لغاية 4، لانه من سالب ما لا نهاية ل5 في عنا من 0 ل4 بدنا نكمل أول شيء من سالب ما لا نهاية لو 0، هذه 0 من 0 ل4 هذه تكاملها 1، لأنه من 0 ل4 لما كملناها في الإثبات إنه نثبت إنه density function لازم من 0 ل4 تكون 1، ومن 4 ل5 كم راح تكون 0. فدائما أي عدد أكبر من 4 إحنا ضمننا إنه التكامل اللي قبله من 0 ل4 موجود، وبالتالي 1 دائما. تمام يا تركي؟ أتمنى إنك تكون فهمت علي. يعني أرد عيد، إحنا عندنا من سالب ما لا نهاية لما لا نهاية، لكن من 0 ل4 هنا الفانكشن أي تكامل من سالب ما لا نهاية لهنا 0، من سالب ما لا نهاية إلى هنا راح تكون حسب قيمة x، فحددناها بهذا الشكل. من سالب ما لا نهاية لأي قيمة فوق 4 هذه دائما راح تكون 1. ليش 1؟ لأنه راح تمر ما بين 0 وال4. 0 ل4 تكامله 1 لأنه probability density function. طيب ممتاز. نعم بتكون فوق 4 0، هذيك السمول، هذيك probability density function. نعم قبل 0 0 بعد 4 0، يعني حسب. يعني لو بدنا نوجد احتمال، ما شاء الله عليكم الأسئلة. يعني مثلا هذاك لأف كابيتال، أما لأف سمول لو والله أف سمول بدنا نكامل سوري عندي أنا 0 وال4 وهي سالب ما لا نهاية وهي ما لا نهاية. لو بدي أكامل من 3 ل 6، من 3 ل 6 أصلا من 4 ل 6 0 خلاص، فبنكامل من 3 ل 4 فقط. أوكي. يعني مثلا لو كان أف السمول على سبيل المثال ما بين 5 وال6، مدام الثنتين أكبر من 4 فهم 0. طيب شوفوا هذه الأسئلة، هذه الأسئلة ممتازة ويعني دائما تيجي في الاختبار. بيجيب لك A يعني variable، أوكي، ويقول لك إنه هذا find the A، بحيث إنه ال A يكون density function، يعني ال density function متحقق، هو density function. find the A، بدنا نوجد A اللي بتخلي لي هذا الفانكشن density function. So the integral of f of x from minus infinity to infinity عشان تكون density function must be what? Must be equal 1. طيب but we have from 0 to minus 1، أنا عندي الفترة فقط من 0 ل minus 1. لا ax هذه must be equal what? equal 1. طيب شو الانتجرال؟ ل 1 ليش minus 1؟ من 0 ل 1 سوري 1. شو الانتجريشن of ax؟ ax هي ax square over 2 and substitute 0 and 1، هذه must be equal what? equal 1. I need to find the a. Substitute 1 a over 2 minus substitute 0 0 must be equal 1. So we can conclude a over 2 equal 1, so a equal what? 2. So if a equal 2, f of x density function, otherwise not density function, any value rather than a equal to, this is not density function, so must be a equal to become f of x density function. اوكي، هيك بنكون اوجدنا الدنسيتي function. must be 2x، ال a equal 2. واضح الفكرة؟ فهنا put some unknown a b c, so we need to find a or b or c to become f of x density function. So by what? By this condition. By this condition, the integral from minus infinity to infinity of f of x must be equal 1. Okay, any question? Okay. Now look at this. We have f of x and we need to show this is density function. If we need density function, what's the interval? Interval x greater than 0. So the x from 0 to infinity. From 0 to infinity. So from 0 to infinity of e to the power minus x, this is equal e minus x negative. Substitute infinity, this is equal minus e to the power negative infinity. Minus, substitute 0, negative 1. This is equal 0 because e to the power negative infinity, this is equal 1 over e to the power infinity, e to the power infinity, infinity. So any number over infinity, this is 0. So negative, negative, we have 1. So this is density function. And e to the power negative x, always positive. E to the power negative x, always positive. So we have the two conditions already satisfied. So this is density function. To find, for example, from 2 to 3, this is just integral from 2 to 3 e minus x. So we have negative e minus x, just substitute 3 and 2. So we have e minus 3 negative plus e to the power negative 2, like this. Okay, like this. Also, if we have less than 4, so from 0 to 4, because x greater than 0, less than infinity, less than infinity. So less than 4, so integral from 0 to 4. Greater than 4, from 4 to infinity. From 4 to infinity. Okay. Look at this example. Also we have some unknown and interval from 0 to 2. We need to find the a. If we need to find the a, so integral from 0 to 2, the f of x, a plus 1x squared, this is dx must be equal what? Equal 1. What's the integration? A x plus x to the power 3 over 3. This is after substitute 0 and 2, this is must be equal what? 1. Look at this. After substitute 2, we have a 2 plus 8 over 3 minus substitute 0, we have 0, this is must be equal 1. This is a 3. So we have, after summation this one, we have 14a over 3 equal 1. So a must be equal 3 over 15. So f of x must be 3 over 14, 1 plus x squared, and x between 0 and 2. Okay, so this is very important. If we have unknown and we need to find this unknown by integration if we have density function, continuous random variable. Now we have the mean and variance. Firstly, mean. What's the meaning mean? This is the summation of all f of x multiply x. This is the mean اللي هو بنسميه الوسط الحساب. لا أي تجربة هي عبارة عن x multiply f of x. x multiply f of x. Okay. Now, يعني if we have here density, a mass function or discrete, if we have continuous, so integral from minus infinity to infinity of also x multiply f of x. So this is two. That was very important to find the mean in continuous and discrete. In discrete, for example, if we have, for example, x and f of x 0, 1, 2, 1 over 4, 1 over 4, 2 over 4. If we need to find the mean for this is f of x, firstly must we find the x multiply f of x. So this is 0, 1 over 4, 4 over 4. So the summation of x f of x equal what? 5 over 4. This is the value of the mean. 5 over 4. This is the value of the mean. Mean or expected value, this is the same meaning. Mean or expected value, this is the same. This is mean. Okay, and this is expected value. القيمة المتوقعة والمين هي نفس المعنى. If we have continuous, so we must find the x multiply of x by integration from minus infinity to infinity. خلينا ناخذ example about this. Before the example, we have also the variance. What's the meaning the variance? Variance اللي هو sigma square. This means we can find the variance by this law. This is the variance. Okay. The variance equal ex square this by summation. If we have the discrete summation x squared multiply f of x, or by continuous integral x squared multiply f of x. Okay. But the mu square, the mu, this is mu square, just find the mu. Mu, this is the expected value. If we have the discrete summation x f of x, if we have continuous integral x f of x, integral from minus infinity to infinity. Okay, so if we need to find the variance, must be find the x multiply of x and x square multiply f of x. Look at this, multiply x square multiply f of x and x multiply f of x, if we need to find the variance. The standard deviation SD standard, this is called sigma. This is equal the radical of the variance. So if we have the variance, it's easy to find the standard deviation. If the variance 4, the standard deviation radical 4 equal 2, for example. Now we need to put it some example. Example in discrete. Example, if we have let f of x, the mass function x and f of x 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is 3 over 12, 1 over 12, 5 over 12, 1 over 12, 2 over 12. Firstly, find the expected value. Expected value means EX. This is the same mean. Okay, find the mean or expected value. This is the same. The solution, x, we have 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 3 over 12, 1 over 12, 5 over 12, 1 over 12, 2 over 12. This is f of x. Now we need to find f multiply x. X multiply f, this is 0, 1 over 12, 10 over 12, 3 over 12, 8 over 12. Now the expected value equal what? The summation x multiply f of x. X multiply f of x, this one. This is equal this one, this one. The summation equal 22 over 12. This is the expected value for f of x. Any question? Please mute your mic. Any question? Any question؟ كيف أوجدنا الأخير؟ جمعناهن. ما هي summation. شو معنى summation يا تركي؟ يعني بدنا نجمع كل اكس في ما ضربناه، يعني بدنا نجمع 0 زائد 1 على 12، 10 على 12، 11 زائد 3 زائد 8 يساوي 22 على 12. اوكي، 22 على 12. أي سؤال؟ واضح يا تركي؟ أوكي واضح. كيف جبنا إكس اف اوف إكس؟ ضربناها. مين سألت؟ سارة. يا سارة هاي الإكس وهاي اف الإكس، يعني نضرب هذه في هذه، هذه في هذه، كل واحدة كل إكس بنضربها في اف الإكس تبعتها يا سارة. نقدر نبسط ولا هذا؟ طبعا نبسط، يعني 22 على 12 بإمكاننا نبسطها. شو المشكلة؟ 11 على 6 ما في مشكلة يا بانا، تبسيط يعني هذا يعني وارد. اوكي، اي سؤال؟ طيب الآن أيضا ممكن أسأل عن الفاريانس. find the variance. Number 2, find the variance. اللي هو sigma square. To find the variance solution, to find the variance, this is equal what? Ex square minus ex all square. Okay, this is the formula for the variance. Ex already computed. This is equal what? This is equal 11 over 6. Okay. Now, how to compute the ex square? Ex square, this means the summation x square multiplied by f of x. Okay, now we have the x 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we have f of x. This is equal 3 over 12, 1 over 12 in previous example, 5 over 12, 1 over 12, and 2 over 12. Now here not multiply x with f of x, must be multiply x square multiply f of x. So first we find x square, after that find x square multiply f of x. X square 0, 1, 4, 9, 16. Now multiply x with f of x 0, 1 over 12, 20 over 12, 9 over 12, and 32 over 12. So the ex square, this is equal the summation x square في f of x, this equal what? This equal 20, 30, 62. 62 over 12. Okay. Now the variance equal 62 over 12. This is the value of ex square. Okay. Minus 11 over 6 all square. This is the value of ex square. Ex, this is 11 over 2. So this is equal what? 11 over 6, sorry. This is equal, by calculator, this is equal 65 over 36. This is the variance. Okay, good. If we need to find, for example, standard deviation, this is radical 65 over 36. Okay, the standard deviation. If we need to find the standard deviation as d, this is radical of the variance. لا يا دعاء ما أتوقع. تأكدي. تأكدي يا دعاء. وبالنا نفس الرقم. ليش يعني صدفت معكم؟ خلينا أعيد. 62 over 12. Okay. Minus the square of 11, 121 over 36. This equal yes, 65 over 36. Okay. Okay. إذا هذا صحيح. Now another example, if we need to find the expected value and the variance for continuous, put it example for continuous, let f of x equal 1 over 4 minus 2x and x between 0 and 2. Firstly, we need to find the expected value or the variance or the mean. Value or the mean. This is the same. Okay. The solution to find the mean or expected value. This is equal what? The integral from minus infinity to infinity x multiply f of x. So we have this is interval. So the integral from 0 to 2 x multiply 1 over 4 minus 2x. This is f of x dx. So this is equal integral from 0 to 2 x multiply 1 over 4 multiply 4. So we have x minus and multiply 2x. We have x square over 2. Okay, dx. Now find the integration. We have x square over 2 minus x to the power 3 over 6. Now substitute 2 and 0. Substitute 2. We have 4 over 2 minus 8 over 6 minus substitute 0 0. So we have 4 over 2 minus 8 over 6. This is 4 over 3. So we have 6 minus 4, 2 over 3. This is the expected value, 2 over 3 or the mean. Okay. If we need to find the variance, must we find the expected value, because to find the variance we must find the ex square and ex all square. Okay. The second example, in the same example, in the same f of x, if we need to find the variance, number 2, find the variance to find the variance must we find the expected value of x square ناقص expected value all square, but this is already we have ex equal 2 over 3. So now just we need to find x square. This is equal the integral from minus infinity to infinity x square في f of x, but we have the dx. We have the interval from 0 to 2 for x square multiply 1 over 4. This is f of x, 1 over 4 multiply 4 minus 2x dx. After simplify, we have from 0 to 2 multiply by 4, we have x square multiply by 4, we have x to the power 3 over 2. Now this is equal, after integration, x to the power 3 over 3 minus x to the power 4 over 8. Substitute two value 2 and 0. This is equal 8 over 3 minus 16 over 8 minus 0. So we have 8 over 3 minus 2. This equal 8 minus 2, also 2 over 3. So the variance equal 2 over 3. This is the x square minus 2 over 3 all square. This is the value of EX 2 over 3 all square. So we have 2 over 3 minus 4 over 9. We have 6 minus 4, 2 over 9. This is the variance. If we need to find the number 3, the standard deviation as D, just this is equal radical variance. So we have radical 2 over 9. Okay. طيب أرجع، مش عارف وين أرجع هنا، يعني للمثال الأول اللي قبل. أتوقع هذا إذا قصدك صح يا مين نورة. طيب هذا المثال الفرع الأول، أيضا لنفس المثال هذا الفرع الثاني to find the variance for discrete. بعدين أخذنا مثال for continuous to find the mean or expected value. After that, ask you about the variance in the same example. Okay? Any question? في المثال الأخير x تربيع، كيف x؟ لا هي ضربناها أول شيء، بسطناها في أن هنا x تربيع. شوفي هذه x تربيع مضروبة بواحد على 4، هذا كله بدنا نضربه بإيش؟ ب4. 4 راحت مع 1 على 4، بقت x تربيع. يا تركي ماشي؟ واضح يا تركي؟ يعني أنت عندك x تربيع على 4، هيك لما نضرب x تربيع مع 1 على 4، هذا كله مضروب في 4 ناقص 2x. واضح؟ فلما تضرب 4 بتروح مع 4 طلعت x تربيع. تمام؟ والآن لما نضرب هذا في هذا شو بتطلع؟ x قوة 3 و2 و4 تحت بظل 2. تمام. Any question؟ في أمثلة يعني محلولة بالنسبة لهذا الموضوع، يعني في السلايدز. سوري ليش طلع في السلايد؟ في هذا مثال محلول كيف how to find the variance and the mean and the standard deviation for discrete. This is for continuous. How can find the mean or expected value and the variance. To find the variance must be find the mean, because the variance must be using this formula ex square minus the mu square or expected value square. أي سؤال آخر؟ Any question؟ طيب إلى هنا يعني بنكون أنهينا chapter 8 اللي هو probability سواء mass function and density function، وبنكون أنهينا المقرر.